Hey folks, and welcome to Greg's Golf Shack and to episode 5 of my quest for better golf. This one I call Turning Point because something clicked. We're getting in the right direction here. Week 5 and 6, I had a little bit of injury, a little bit of setback, but found something at the end that I started to apply here. So it's really coming together. I've been starting to integrate the things over the past few weeks a little bit more natural so I can think about them less and just focus on the swing, but I'm also adding new things to really try to refine this. And as I notice new issues, I'm trying to tackle them to smooth them out. So first of all, the diet and the exercise has been pretty good. The diet's always consistent, so there's no worries there. Very similar eating to some of the meals that I showed you in the last episode. Exercise was a little bit slower this week. I'm still trying to recover from some of those injuries. Everything's improved well, but I don't want to aggravate it further. And I've been really busy, of course. So I've been exercising, but very moderately. I would have liked to exercise more, so I'm going to step it up over the next 2 weeks. But these 2 weeks have been great for the practice element. After the last episode I filmed, I just started playing some golf. I wanted to see where I was. Golf courses weren't really open. We had horrible weather, very depressing, rain for a week, cold temperatures. So I played some holes on the simulator and I recorded a few swings just to see what happened naturally. And I was hitting it pretty good. I mean, almost jarred this one on the first tee shot of the night on a par 3 and a few other par 3s, just hitting it well, hitting it pretty close. Even taking a driver, trying to drive a green on an executive course, it was working pretty well. But there were still some stray shots here and there. And looking back at that swing, it was still a little bit long. There's a little bit of sway in the swing. I wanted to tighten a few things up. So I started working on a few drills just to try to integrate it into the swing, such as trying to adopt a little bit more of a one-piece takeaway. I wanted to try to avoid throwing that club back in the backswing. So a little bit more of a one-piece takeaway drill to develop that feeling. I also wanted to flatten the swing a little bit. Felt like the shoulder was getting really high. Again, I'm getting that high sort of lift up at the top of the swing. So I started doing these backswing drills to try to flatten my shoulder, where I held the shaft in a certain way that kept that shoulder low, kept that trail elbow low, and get a feeling of a flatter swing plane. I also wanted to make sure I was keeping my arms closer to the body. Now, a lot of people do a drill where they tuck a towel under their arms to try and keep their arms there. I don't like that one so much. You end up really kind of pressing your arms in to hold that towel there, and it makes it difficult to feel relaxed and turn. All I do is kind of tuck my shirt sleeves under my armpits a little bit so my arms can still be out in front and it doesn't feel like I'm trying to hold anything, but I still get that general feeling of trying to keep my arms close, and it helps keep the impact zone consistent without too much of your arms getting away from the body or pulling into the body. So it's a little bit more of a consistent plane with that. And that felt pretty good. I worked on those drills for a little bit indoors, played some indoor golf to see how it felt. Now, before I could really put things to the test and try to get out to the course, I had a package arrive at the door, and it was a set of new golf clubs. I was really looking forward to these. As a member of the Canadian Golf Teachers Federation, they have a great partnership with Srixon in Cleveland, where there's a significant discount for personal use of these golf clubs. And they have other partnerships as well. So I got myself some Srixon and Cleveland golf clubs. I actually made the unboxing video, so you can go have a look. I'll include a card in this video if you want to see what they look like coming out of the package. And I'll be doing reviews of these clubs coming up in other videos. But I'm a happy guy with my new Srixon ZX MK2 driver, my Cleveland Halo XL 5-wood, my Srixon ZX MK2 4 hybrid 22 degrees, some Srixon ZX4 Mark II irons. I got 6, 7, and 8 iron in this model. Srixon ZX5 Mark II irons. I got 9-iron pitching wedge and gap wedge in this model, and the two models look really nice together in the bag. And I got a couple of nice wedges, a Cleveland CBX4 54 degree sand wedge, I guess you could call it, and the Cleveland RTX6 Zipcore 58 degree. The clubs feel great. This is exciting. So once we had a break in the weather and it actually stopped for a day, it's actually raining again right now, I was able to get out on a 9-hole course, actually with one of my clients that I'm teaching some golf to. And I wanted to see where things were at, and I wanted to try the new clubs. Now, we are in really early season conditions here in Newfoundland. As I said, the weather has been poor. Things need to grow, raining a lot, so cutting wasn't happening on some of the courses. And it was really, really wet conditions. So very tough. But you know, we wanted to have some fun and play some golf. So I actually struggled a fair bit. I filmed every swing on the round, but I didn't want to put a course vlog together because it would be unfair to the course with the conditions that we've had. And I'll film some course vlogs later. But I struggled, a little bit, and I wanted to look back at these videos to see what was happening. And, some people suffer from indoor golf syndrome where they have trouble swinging the club in an environment like indoors. I think I got so comfortable with indoor golf over the winter, over the season with all this practice, that I actually have outdoor golf syndrome. It takes me a while to acclimate to that environment and have these targets that are way off in the distance. I know that sounds weird, but it's something that I face, almost every season. But also this was a product of bringing practice to the course. A lot of us suffer from that. You have a good range session, it's tough to bring it to the course. I use these videos. You can see I'm hitting a driver here, and I'm going to have a consistent miss with all of these. Some of the shots were good, some were bad. 4 hybrid shot here on a par 3. I hit a 5-wood into a par 3. Even the irons, some strikes were okay, some weren't, but I had this consistent issue where I was falling back. I wasn't getting to the lead side. So I was determined to fix that. So it's the next day after that round. I'm in the studio trying to work it out. And I wouldn't necessarily say the round was bad because I can look back at that video and see what I need to improve. And to be honest, the improvement is not a big deal. A lot of those feelings and things I'm working on are good and they've been beneficial. But there's a couple key elements that are causing some problems. And I think they can be easy to fix. Now, first thing I noticed, of course, was that falling back. I mean, I'm getting this turn back so far that when I get through, I'm kind of throwing my body back to get the club at the ball. This is a very common amateur mistake. I mean, that's just falling back. I'm focusing so much on backswing and all this stuff. I had getting to the lead side all figured out a while ago, but it's kind of crept back in as I've been focusing on this backswing. One could say you could do these drills where you just swing and step through and start feeling what it is to get to the lead side. I've been practicing out here, trying things. I'm sweating. I don't advise you practice where you're just beating so many balls you work up this sweat and get tired. But I'm searching for a feeling. So there is purpose in this practice, and just trying to get to the lead side does not work for me. And the reason comes down to my original issue, where I have this overswing in the backswing. But it's not happening where I really thought it was. I was thinking the wrists, I've really got to tame them down and everything. The reality is, my shoulder line. I've focused so much on trying to have a good chest turn and always felt like my arms were getting away from me. When I look back at some of these videos and these turns, my chest, or my shoulders will say, are turning back beyond this 90 degrees, which 90 degrees is a lot of turn for your chest, for your shoulders in a backswing. My trail shoulder is getting back beyond that. I'm not Ricky Fowler. I can't tempo my swing back to that impact position from there. It's not giving me any speed or any balance whatsoever. I get back there so far that I've got to throw the club and all the energy's gone. Again, this is a classic, common issue with a lot of average golfers, and it snuck in. Because all this is back there so far and I'm throwing the club down at it, my body, my balance, my weight shift is in no position to try to get to that lee side. All I can do is swing around and have my weight fall back. So I've been working on some feelings to be able to minimize that, and it's actually quite easy. I don't have an overswing. That's the epiphany here. It looks like I have an overswing, except my follow through often stops like right here. And it feels like that's as far as I can go. My club kind of whips like this sometimes, but it's a very abbreviated follow through because I've got no more rotation left in me. And my weight shift will not let my body release through to a nice follow through. So, as I said, it's not an overswing. The swing is just in the wrong place. I need to take a swing that goes from here to here and change it so it goes from here to here. It's the same amount of golf swing, it just needs to be timed differently. So I've been experimenting because I always struggled with this idea that I need to shorten my swing. I don't need to shorten it at all. I just need to start that swing at a better spot so I can get through and let my weight shift and my balance get through to that lead side. So a couple of thoughts I'm having are going back to that slower takeaway, and I'm going to try to exaggerate and feel like my chest, my shoulders are only turning about 45 degrees. I expect they're going to turn a lot still, but I want the feeling that they're a little bit reduced. That should slow everything down a little bit, stop getting back too far. And as far as getting to the lead side goes, I want the downswing to start pulling my trail foot and leg forward towards the target. Now, this might not work for everybody because you're thinking the downswing might do this. I have a different feeling in my mind where what I'm feeling is in the downswing, I'm letting the weight shift inwards toward the target with my trail leg. So once I get through impact and into the follow through, the leg can come up and I can get to that lead side. One other thing, because I was struggling with that weight shift and everything, and it was causing me to sort of pull the ball and kind of pull it out to the left and hook it and things, is this comes down to my low follow through, which was one of those things, because this was such a big backswing and wrong timed swing, it was causing this lead shoulder to kind of work its way down and low, and I had these low left follow throughs. By starting the swing earlier in the sequence, I guess you could say, I want to focus on this shoulder coming more upwards post impact. Now again, this might not be the best advice for some people, especially if you've got the chicken wing or something, you want to keep that shoulder down and going back a little bit. I would like the feeling of it moving up. I know it's already going to go around, but I need to feel like my arms can go this way. It was very difficult for me to try to get my hands out to this position if my balance was off and my turn was not working properly. But by feeling like my shoulder is pulling up, my arms feel like they're really releasing into that post-impact position a little bit easier. So that's the idea. It sounds like a lot of swing thoughts, but it's not really. All I'm going to do is slow back, try to feel like my chest, my turn is only here, and drop the ego that I need all this swing for distance. I don't even care about distance right now. Minimize that back turn, release through, let the downswing pull my trail side up and through, and get that lead shoulder moving upwards. Took a lot of sweat and tears in here to figure that out, but I feel like it's something I can connect to and work with. Let's give it a try. Right down the middle. That feels good. And that's, my number right now for my pitching wedge. Again, I'm not a huge hitter, and I can consistently reproduce that, and that's feeling pretty good. So those feelings, I don't know how it looked, but it felt a lot better, it felt smoother, it felt easier to repeat. Try it again. Oh, right down the middle again. You know, a couple more yards there, but my 120 number for my pitching wedge, 1 yard off. I mean, that's pretty good. All right, let's see if we can get similar action with an 8-iron. Might be a little pulley. Oh no. I like it. 155 is kind of my average carry number with that. So that feeling seems to be working again. I don't know if I look back, it might still look long, but the feeling, my balance is in place. I feel a little bit more comfortable striking the ball. So that's where my practice is going into these final 2 weeks. The accuracy is there. So hopefully I can repeat it and bring it to the actual course. In fact, let's hit the driving range outdoors, see if I can get over this outdoor golf syndrome and reproduce these results outside. So I took that feeling to the driving range and it felt good. I was striking it really well. It still wasn't getting all the way where I wanted it to, but there was a significant change in my balance, my tempo. And I hit various clubs and I was striking it pretty well. I actually played a round of golf at Glendenning, where I'm working right now, with the Club Pro there, and I swung the club pretty well. Considering the round I had the day before at the 9-hole course, there was a significant improvement just by this mental sort of change to that swing. And I hit it pretty well. Sure, there were some bad shots, and sure, some of those bad habits crept in, but it was a real big step in the right direction. And when I got home from that round, something happened. The light bulb has gone off. I can feel it now. I was just lying in bed thinking about how these very recent changes I was talking about translate to what I'm trying to achieve. And bing, it came to me. I had to come out and try a few swings, so I apologize. I'm in pajamas, I'm a mess. But this is golf we're talking about here. So I came out here and just noticed that these newer thoughts, reducing that chest turn a little bit, all these things put me in a better position to drop the hands down in the downswing. A common piece of advice for anybody who's looking to improve their golf swing. But it's really difficult for me and a lot of us if we have an excessive turn back, if we're really feeling like the only place we can get power is from way up here, there's nowhere to drop our hands. The side of our body, all this stuff is in the way. We can't drop our hands down. The only way is to come over the top. With this new feeling, and feeling like I'm gonna swing like this on a loop downwards, I can actually achieve that now with this new vibe I've got going on. Drop the hands down, turn that trail side through, feels great. I'm gonna have to work on it. My swing is still naturally long, so it's gonna take some time, but, oh, that feels good. That feels good. This is going to be awesome going into the next couple weeks. So this aha moment is huge. It feels huge. I don't know how much it's going to change the look of my swing, but the contact, where the speed and the power of contact is happening now relative to my previous swing when I started this journey, something's amazing there. And I'm really looking forward to this next couple of weeks. I'm going to focus on developing that feeling further and working on accuracy. I'm going to try to play outdoors on the course if conditions will accommodate, but I'm also going to play indoors on the sim to try and tighten this up further. I think I can make that transition from indoors to outdoors a little bit better now. And I'm just going to work on tightening the accuracy of these shots. Now, for other people who might embark on a swing journey, I might recommend you spend a week or two on speed training, really trying to get up your speed and distance. that's not an area of focus that I want to work on. I want to make sure I can swing smooth and see what distances I get as a result of these swing changes rather than try to force distance into it. I want it to happen more passively and a result of my swing improvements. So what I'm going to really focus on is not only the accuracy and the dispersion of where my balls are landing out in the field, I really want to find out what my gapping is going to be with these new clubs. So far when I'm hitting them, I'm getting really consistent numbers, even with mishits. So the technology of the new golf clubs is certainly doing its part. Now I need to do my part to see what kind of numbers I can generate with a functional and efficient golf swing. So that's what these next 2 weeks are going to be about, refining this swing and creating something that is repeatable throughout the season. So thanks for watching. I look forward to touching base with you in the next update. Until then, thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Greg's Golf Shack.